G'day guys, welcome to my channel that I've just started to kick off, just as a bit of a motivator to try and get some progress done on a car that I've been building for quite a long time, probably way too long. Just the sort of thing it's been sitting and life gets in the way. Recently been to Summonats again this year, which is probably the greatest motivator you can get. Just thought I'd do a string of videos on little things that I'll be doing to the car just to keep myself motivated. And maybe motivate some of you guys at home to get things done on your cars as well. I know in the past I've taken a bit of inspiration from some videos I've seen on YouTube, and if I can do something or show somebody something that helps out, well then that's all good as well. The car for a long time, it's been through a few motors, RB20, twin cam turbo, now an injected 5 litre. I have had the car more complete than what it is now. I just started trying to fix a few little things, and then often these are the case, things snowball. Fix one little thing, find something else you're not happy with, so try and get that fixed as well. The car's been painted for like 15 years, sitting in the same shape it is now with the body kit half fitted. Just time to finally pull my finger out and get it done. So I'll show you a few little things I've done to the car, where it's up to, and I'll hopefully try and get a video out every now and then, every time I do a little project, tick something off the list, and hopefully keep the content coming. You guys can check it out if you like it. Ask some questions. I'm happy to try and help where I can. So this is how the car sits today. I think, as I said before, it's been painted for at least 15 years or so now, and been sitting like this with the body kit half fitted for a long time. This car has been a build completely done by me and my father. The only thing we didn't do was lay the paint on the car. The paint is still in pretty good condition given its age. That was done by a panel shop out west where my dad lives quite some time ago. The car is now an injected 5 litre and 5 speed, which I took out of a VR Commodore that I bought. It had a couple of months rego. I bought the car for $1,800. This was back obviously before everyone had applied COVID tax to everything and was asking silly money for standard cars. I used the 5 litre and 5 speed in this after I took out the RB20 twin cam turbo that I had in it. I bought this car as a shell and swapped the RB20 in out of another VL turbo that I'd had and written off, but the driveline was still good. So I decided to use that for a little while, but soon grew bored of the lack of torque from the little twin cam 2 litre turbo. It was good fun, but you constantly had to rev the freckle out of it to get any sort of power. I think I might have said before, I've had the car more complete than what it is now, even with this driveline combination in it. Had all the engine covers and air boxes in and washer bottles, all that sort of thing. It looked like a sort of half tidy bay, but there's things like the wiring and whatnot. Years ago when I wired it up, I just sort of done it as a temporary wire up just to see if it would run, and that temporary wire up ended up sitting for about 10 years. It wasn't a hard job to wire it up. It probably took me 2 hours and about $20 worth of materials. I just searched for a guide on the internet and gave it a crack. I did have to get a memcar with the VATs turned off, which is a vehicle anti-theft system, so that it would fire, so the key would talk to the computer. I've done a few little things like the VT to VZ master cylinder and brake booster. They're a pretty simple sort of bolt up. You just have to buy a custom bracket to suit the booster to the firewall. You then weld up the hole in the rod that runs through to the brake pedal and drill a new one and shorten the rod to suit so that the brake pedal sits at the right height. Beyond that, I've then got the VT to VZ twin piston calipers in there and discs. They were fitted after I bought a set of conversion hubs. Pretty straightforward. You just knock the old discs off, fit new wheel bearings, slide the adapter hubs on, and then your discs and calipers and whatnot all bolt straight up with factory gear. It was much the same for the injected 5 litre driveline. Everything basically bolts straight in, all factory holes and mounting points, etc. I read mixed reviews when I did the conversion that some things needed to be slotted, say gearbox crossmember holes and that sort of thing, but in my case everything bolted straight up, right down to the factory extractors that had joined up to the existing exhaust I had for the 6-cylinder turbo. So obviously I use the extractors and collectors and then merge into one, and then they join the original exhaust. The interior, again, I've had this a lot more complete. I had all the dash in and everything working, bar the heater controls, and I want to get the AC and heater working. So I pulled this apart and played with all the vacuum lines that control all the vents in the HVAC system. So now when the car's running, you slide the dial and obviously every vent works as it should. You can select demister, side vents, center vents, whatever. that I'll put that all back together very soon now that it's finished off under there. Also had to do a repair to the AC box as well. That was just had a big hole and it was blowing air out into nowhere. I do have the full Calais interior for it, roof lining, doors, seats, everything, etc. Again, I bought a whole car many years ago. It was a VL Calais. It had a hit in the rear end, and I think I bought the whole car for $1,500. So that was a bargain back then. Today, you'd be lucky to get one. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm up to. So I've got a few things I'm going to finish off soon. As I said, I want to do the wiring and neaten that right up. I've bought a little fuse box and some extra wiring and relays and whatnot, so I can tidy that right up and hide it. Once that's done, I can get the engine bay finished off. I've got a new washer bottle to go in it. I'll put all the painted engine covers back on, tidy up the fuse box in the other side there. Like every VL fuse box, the headlight fuses are blown and melted in the rail, so I've got a new rail. I'll then finish fitting up the Calais flip front end and then get onto the front bumper as well. And it'll start to look like a car. Then next will be the dash putting back in. I'll probably do a little bit of video on that for anyone who wants to see it. We'll get that together and then I'll finish fitting out the rest of the trim. The only Calais part I don't have for the car is the original power window motors. I'm still deciding whether or not I'm going to fit an aftermarket system to them or try and chase down the original regulators and get them fitted in. But either way, I'll do a bit of a video on those as well. Another little project I'll do shortly as well is I want to sort out the power steering. So I've had some issues with the power steering. The pump that was on the motor originally leaked everywhere. So I sourced another second-hand one I had in the back of my dad's shed, brought that down, chucked it on, same deal, leaked everywhere. At the time, I was sick of playing with leaky power steering pumps, so I thought, stuff it, I'll buy a new one. Jumped on eBay, bought a reconditioned one, put it in the car. Guess what? Leaks. So took it out, bought a rebuild kit, rebuilt one of my old ones, put it all back together. It's currently not working either. It doesn't leak anymore, but I think the pressure relief valve in the back may be no good. So I'll swap that out, and that'll be the last sort of chance or the last try I'm willing to have with the factory power steering. If that doesn't work and doesn't get it sorted, I'll pull it out and probably put a TS Astra electric power steering pump in. So I'll probably have a look at making a bracket or hiding that under a guard or something like that, and then having some lines made up. At least that way, not only does it sort the power steering so it's not leaking, it's a bit more modern, newer setup. Also, I guess, tidy up the bay and get that old pump out of there and just tidy the bay up and make it look a lot nicer. Okay, so I think that's enough of a brief rundown of my Project VL and where it's up to right now. If you liked the video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.